Hello, welcome to Gospel Share Missions. 4 Fields Discipleship Multiplication Training. In the last video we shared tool number 2, Person House of Peace. Now, this is tool number 3, the 15-second testimony. This is the first tool of the seeded field. Once you identify an empty field, a person of peace, it is time to sow the seed, to share the gospel. We begin by opening an informal conversation by sharing our own story of how we came to Jesus. Your personal testimony is very powerful because it demonstrates that God has power to change our lives. It is a story of contrasts between your old life and your new life in Christ. One of the biggest mistakes in sharing our testimony with our person of peace is that we share too much detail and too long. But there is power in your story. Let's see some examples in the Bible. In Mark 5, verses 19 to 20, when Jesus healed the demon-possessed man, he wanted to follow Jesus, but Jesus said, "Go home to your own people and tell them." In Acts 22 verse 6 we see Paul in Jerusalem describing his conversion. In Acts 26 verse 10 we see again Paul before Agrippa sharing his story. One thing we know is, Jesus changes lives. In your training, ask the participants to locate page 10 in the notes and drawings. Write down your own story. Think of 2 words that describe your life before you came to Jesus and write them down on the left side of the cross. Then think of 2 words that describe how Jesus came into your life and write them down below the cross. Then 2 words that describe your life after becoming a Christian and write them down on the right side of the cross. When you share your story, begin with the phrase, "There was a time in my life," then "one day," and conclude with, "Now in Jesus." Let's see an example. There was a time in my life when I was insecure and angry. Then one day I believed in Jesus' sacrifice, and I was baptized. Now I am secure and full of joy. After sharing your short story, you ask your person of peace the following question: do you have a story like this? When you ask your person of peace this question, take time to listen to what they share with you. This last question is very important, as it invites the other person to share their own experience. After listening, then you ask, "Can I share something that changed my life?" And this is the next tool to share the gospel. When you train this tool to a group, use that last question to pass it along to someone else in the group to practice it and on. Remember, keep your story short, around 15 seconds. Your story is only the door to the story of Jesus that saves, which is the next tool. God bless you as you equip yourself to train others who train others.